Stay in the amateur game as long as you can, as long as much and get as much as you possibly can learn from it. Like the time you'll know when it's time to go pro. But a lot of these actually got go ask a lot of these fighters now. Ask them how many are actually taking care of their taxes, and then they're getting pushed faster these days. They're not waiting to 20, 30 fights to put a title on the kid these days. So, he can really box, but at the same time those shots he's boxing you with, they're stinging.
Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Chris from BWC, and now tuning into another segment of On the Ropes. Today, joining me is a good friend of mine, a former champion, a former Marine, a former sergeant, Jamel Herring. The dog, what's going on, big bro?
What's going on, dog? What's going on?
Same to you, man. Same last time we spoke was before the holiday, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you and the family and everybody.
Hey, same to you and yours, man. Same to you and yours as well.
So talk to me. What's been going on since the last time? Talk to me, man.
Nah, not much, man. No, I'm just trying to kick off the new year, in the right way, and that's just by staying really busy and active and doing certain things with my partner. Shout out to my man JC out in LA, and my other partner as well, Gary Gittleson. But I just been trying to stay busy with my management, and also strengthening my body to get back in the gym myself.
So I want to basically kind of take it from the top, but obviously for the people that don't know your story, I want you to start with your journey, the early years, entering the Marine. Talk to the people how did that?
Oh man.
You can break it down. We ain't gonna do it big,
like I said, I started boxing late. I started boxing when I was 15 years old. Compared, others in the amateur system, kids started like 6, 7, 8 years old, before they competing. But I was a fast learner. My very first loss going back that far was my boy Danny Jacobs. So that tells you how way back then. Me and Danny and those guys who came up and around that era, we all came up around each other, especially in New York. But I say a couple of years later, I had already enlisted into the Marine Corps. So I would say honestly, the bulk of my amateur experience in terms of getting to the Olympics and so on and winning national championships came while I was in the Marine Corps, that's why I was giving, a lot of respect and praise to the Marine Corps in my own career.
Starting boxing late, you didn't play any other sports?
I played football. Football was actually my first sport. Like I said, I started when I was 10 years old. So football was definitely my first sport that I tried. I was a receiver, running back, defensive end, and, safety. So yeah, like I said, I played football a lot up until high school because for my frame, I wasn't bulking up like that. So that's when I started playing other things like basketball. I did track and field and so on. So mainly a lot of sports that kept me athletic.
When do you feel or when does a fighter should know that he's ready to go pro and ready to go take it to the next level?
I feel like when you as an amateur when it's time to go pro, especially in today's era, because if you look at it, a lot of these kids a lot of these big promoters are signing now, they have a big amateur background, whether it's the Olympics or multinational champions. So and then they're getting pushed faster these days. They're not waiting to 20, 30 fights to put a title on the kid these days. So but they trying to get if promoters that you're looking for an amateur, they're looking for an amateur that has a hefty, amateur experience. So I would tell kids to continue building their resume. Cause that's what it really is. It's your resume. Your amateur background is your resume. So I would tell kids to keep stay in the amateur game as long as you can, as long as much and get as much as you possibly can learn from it. The time you'll know when it's time to go pro, but I always suggest that they should just stick around, a little longer at times, to get that bulk of experience and then move on to the next the level of boxing.
So when you went pro in 2012, what was one of the things one of the harshest realities in the sport of boxing that you was like, wow, I never knew this was like that? Was it a part of the business or training? Just anything that was a harsh reality?
There's a lot of things that you don't learn going into the pro rankings that you do need a good team around, especially when it comes with money and the way contracts are formed. I'm not like I said, I came in the game, signed under Al Heyman. I'm not saying Al was great to me, Al. I had a great relationship with Al Heyman, but like I learned a lot, like into pro games. It's not like a team like team sports where you have managements like that that's always keeping eyes and ears on everything. Like no, as you get higher, you got to start paying attention to a lot that goes on within your business and your circle, and you got to be hands on to it. Like I mean, thank God for me. Like I got a team that basically taught me to be how to be financially stable and clear. So like that's the main thing, because I see a lot of fighters, they come back because of things like, for instance, like taxes. A lot of these actually go ask a lot of these fighters now. Ask them how many are actually taking care of their taxes and doing it in a smart way, like turning their brand into like an LLC and so on. So like I think even like greats. You see like you hear the things with the greats, like guys like Pacquiao and such who had issues with taxes and like that. There's things that like they're not going to teach you. These things that you're supposed to go out there and learn on your own. So you gotta build a good team that's looking out for you and not just looking out what's in your pocket.
When going about picking trainers and coaches, what's one of the first things that you look at?
For me, it was chemistry. It was chemistry. That was a starting point. There's a lot of great trainers out there, as we all seen. We'll see now. But like, say for instance, like they try to say that Robert Garcia and Anthony Joshua wasn't a good combination. But Robert Garcia is a great trainer, but they may just not have had the same chemistry. Like I said, Robert Garcia could do great by many others out there, But I feel like, and it's not just about Robert Garcia. I think it's with any trainer. I think it comes down to, just having great chemistry for starters, and then getting on the same page. Because, like I said, anyone can sit down and speak boxing and try to show you things, but not everyone can teach it to you.
And then Bomac, how did that relationship with you and Bomac happen to him being your trainer? And then how is it working with a guy like Bomac and picking the brain of Bomac and dealing with a guy, obviously like Terrence Crawford? Like, what did you learn from those two big guys, obviously?
I know, man. I learned a lot. I mean, those two helped me get to be, becoming a world champion. So those two guys who I still, love and respect to this day. Bo was really a student in the game. He's really like he'll really break down things in ways and manners that that's basically on your level or your language. And not to mention, you got guys like Red Spikes, who's another trainer over there, as well as Isao Diego. So that whole trio plus Blood, that's a lot of knowledge and different, and different styles and forms that help implement and build you as a fighter.
So I remember last time we spoke, you had a lot of high praise for Tank. I went to DC and I covered the fight, and I'm pretty sure you watched it. What were your thoughts, man? I think right now he's at the apex of his career, big bro. He's at a different level. I know he don't got the strap, so people are gonna give it to Haney, but I really think he's the baddest dude right now, to be honest.
No, I mean he's definitely one of the best in the divisions. And and it's not taking anything from guys like Devin, Lomachenko, and so on. Even like my man Shakur Stevenson coming up to the division. So the division gonna be loaded with a lot of talent. But Tank is definitely, he's definitely up there. He's definitely, regardless of what you may say about his resume, this and that third. But I seen like he showed different tools and dynamics in his last fight with Hector Garcia. And Hector Garcia isn't a pushover. Hector Garcia is a really good boxer in his own right. But like, Tank showed how to go to different levels, and then how to close the show as always.
What I feel with Tank is, for a power puncher, he doesn't tend to rush things. He picks his spots, he's very patient. And I feel like that's what separates him from a lot of knockout artists. A lot of guys, they're coming to knock you out, but he sets things up beautifully with patience. He never looks like he's in a hurry.
And right, yeah, exactly. Like he'll that's the scary part to his arsenal. Like he can really box, but at the same time those shots that he's boxing you with, they're stinging, and little by little. They're kind of wearing you down. So I think that makes a scary thing with his arsenal. He's not just going out there swinging for the fences. Like he's setting things up, and he's very good defensively as well at times.
So talk to me. The best 3 moments of your career that you can never forget, that you'll tell the kids, that to this day you think about it and you think to yourself like, I did that. That was me. What were the 3 moments?
I said my best 3 was my pro debut. My pro debut. That was actually on the same day that Pacquiao had lost to Marquez. It was the same day, but it was on the Golden Boy card. Back in December 2012. My pro debut, my title win against Masahiro Ito, and then my knockout win against Carl Frampton.
Are you a fighter that you like being on the road, or you prefer to be on the stage? So you'll fight anywhere as long as everything is right.
No, I'll fight anywhere as long as it's right. That's just me. That's just come from basically being a Marine. Like I've been there, I've traveled everywhere around the world, especially whether it was for battle or competition. You know, I've been everywhere. So I mean, as long as everything is right and fair, I don't really care what the fight's at.
All right. So obviously, in your last fight, it wasn't the outcome you expected. Did you or were you retiring? Because they say usually fighters, they retire mentally before they do actually physically. So whether you won or lost that fight, do you think you were going to retire regardless?
Nah, I don't think so. But I think a lot of things playing up to it was like on my conscience, especially like I said when I said earlier about getting my body right. I was dealing. Every fighter deals with a lot. Every fighter deals with aches and pains and whatever in the quiet. So, like I said, I won my first world title. When I fought Ito, I was having little aches and little pains from overthrowing my jab in that fight. That's why if you go look at that fight, I say around like 5, 6, 7. Those rounds I started slowing down my jab, but I think it was at the point when shout out to Jermaine, but when we was toe to toe and I couldn't keep up. You know what I mean? I couldn't keep up at times. I was just getting outworked, and I was just like, okay, you know, it wasn't so much like I felt like I was in pain and things. Just like, man, like my body is not reacting the way I wanted to react. So I was like, you know, maybe it's time to really, if I do even if I do squeeze out a win. You know, maybe I'm still maybe with time to still at least have a way to go get checked out. You know what I mean? Go get checked out because you know a lot of fighters. We like to say you see the Lomachenko and fighters in the past, Pacquiao, whatever. We all go through it. Especially I don't know what it is about southpaws for one, but I just named all like the number of southpaws. But like we all go through little aches and pains. No excuses. Like I said, a lot of fighters they fight through it because like I said, I fought through a lot as well. But I just thought, like, in terms of my family, everybody was like, maybe you need to really back away and then just get looked at it. So, like, for the past months, as so I've been trying to get like MRI. I've been getting MRIs and everything done, and it's actually, I'm actually getting better after certain procedures. But it was a lot more if my body was able to keep up. Will continue fighting more than like I didn't want to fight anymore. Like I still want to fight. I love the sport, but it was more of like my body it wasn't reacting. Maybe should I get checked out or still really just step away from it if I can't if I can't heal from it.
So like when a fighter takes a loss, do you think he should focus on the loss right after a fight, or maybe because I was talking with Benavidez Senior, when a fighter loses as a trainer,
I gotta see where his head is and little by little test him and come back. I even told him, you know what, I think you've been working hard, take some vacations, some days off and come back. He decided he didn't want to go. So to me, that's showing me and that, he wants to continue.
So when after loss, do you and Bomac go to the drawing board right that Saturday, or you guys go like a Monday to the gym and just sit down with the unit, with the squad, and you guys just don't talk about what you guys should do or what should be the next step going forward?
No, I mean for the most part, I've taken the loss to the team. Like I said, I speak for Bo, and the team is usually with you there through all the way. When you're going through it, making sure you're good mentally for one. But they're during as the weeks and everything go on, everyone's talking more and trying to get that groove again to get back into the rhythm of things. So like I think it's more of depending on who you are, though. Also, some people can eat, some people snap back quick, some people take time. You know what I mean? Depending on who the fighter is, but I think it all comes down just to having a good team and family dynamic around you to build you back up, and then it makes it okay. Let's look at the mistakes. Let's look at all the mistakes that we did last fight, and let's see how we can correct it and move forward.
So this is kind of a fantasy question. I ask this to every fighter. So, what would be 3 fights you would love to have, or still have in your career to fight?
At times I would love to have the Pacho fight after the Ito, after I beat Ito to unify, because he was the number one guy in the division. And, he was breaking down everyone. So shout out to Miguel Pacho. Also, I would like to fight Oscar Valdez after the Frampton fight or whatever as well. When he got the win over, because he got the big win over Pacho. So shout out to Oscar Valdez. So but for my third one, I don't know. I think I still want to. I was actually in the sweepstakes at one point during the whole mix-up, the whole mix-up between Devin Haney's team and Cambosa's team, and it was basically my name was mentioned about just so if the fight didn't happen, they was gonna throw my name in the hat, whatever. So I guess I would say with that fight, just because it was basically majority of the world, the titles in the line for that fight.
I gotta put you one time on a hot seat, big bro. So I know you see the fights that have been made, man. We got Inoue Fulton. We talked about that because at the time we talked about it in December, it was a rumor, but now it's semi-official. Both guys have agreed. They're just looking for the Durham in the spring. It's gonna be in Japan. Talk to me about that. What do you think about that?
That's a good fight. And I give my man Cool Boy a chance because on his part, and I love Inoue. Like I said, I covered his last fight, matter of fact, on commentary. So they say it's a great fight for both, but they all have their different dynamics and tools. Yes, of course, majority is going to obviously side. Say Inoue has the advantage, not just because it'll be in Japan, but because of his accolades and so on, and respectfully so. But I don't think it's an easy fight. I don't think it's definitely not an easy fight for either or, in my opinion. But like I said, again, I gotta look back. Because I can really dive into it for my own reasons. I gotta see if Inoue has ever fought anyone with that type of style to begin with. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it's a Cool Boy. He's a slick shot boxer. We've seen Inoue put down a lot of great fighters with different styles, but I can't remember anyone with the same style as a Cool Boy.
So we got now Plant Benavidez, a 25th.
Oh no, Caleb on my man Caleb on one right now.
I feel like they don't give a shot. Like I like both fighters. I feel like they completely overlooking.
I don't know, man. Let's my man, like I said, David's a good ass fighter too. When last time he fought?
He fought David Lemieux. I want to say sometime November, a couple months ago. Because
so it was recent. Okay. I was making sure, like, because I to make the ring rust and things of that nature, they could play an effect. But right now, Caleb, when he I've known him for over like 10 years, man. We was actually teammates for the Southern Regional Golden Gloves team at one point back in like 2010. So that's how far. But like Caleb said, when he's determined, man, like he really pushes himself and he really believes that he's that guy, which any fighter should have that mindset. But Caleb can make some positive people out here, man.
When I was talking to Steve this week, he said that obviously both it's a lot of bad blood, but bad blood with respect. How does a fighter deal when you actually really don't like this guy? Like, have you ever felt like I really don't like this guy? I can't wait to put pause on this guy. Like,
nah, I never. It's crazy. I never even got that. Even with me and Shakur when we had our little thing going, whatever. I still never got that. But a lot of that can work against you. That's why, for instance, my man Josh Taylor said he did that against Jose Ramirez with the jaw jack and shit talking the whole buildup. because he wanted to get Jose to be like, yo, I gotta get to this guy. I gotta get to him because and that played into the whole, saying Josh's favor. So like for me, it's like one thing, like if you do get upset and some things it will bother you, you gotta keep that under control. Because like I said, you can go out there tensing up, trying to look for everything, the big shot, and you might get caught yourself.
And then obviously the other one, Errol Spence, he was given an interesting deal. So he's gonna fight Keith Thurman. I've been told hopefully April or May. He's gonna fight Keith Thurman at 154. He's still keeping the belts that he's unified at 147, but he's given 60 days after the fight to either make the Crawford fight or fight the winner of Stanionis and Virgil Ortiz. To me, I like Errol Spence, but it sounds like he can't make the weight because why not take the fight at 147 and then just continue your role at 147?
No, I think he can. I think he can. I think he will for the right price. But I agree with you. I mean, Errol has even stated himself that is getting tougher and tougher to make the weight. But so I feel as if he probably taking it as, listen, if I ain't gonna make if I don't gonna make a title defense, and I have to make that weight, why not? I could make the weight. I could just fight, Keith Thurman wherever the next me and be comfortable instead of trying to squeeze down, for a fight that's not even doesn't have the belt on the line. So, I get it to that degree, but. I respect. I think it's going to come down to more of his decision on which route he goes after the fight. I mean, and he may just possibly stay at 154. Who knows?
Do you think maybe this fight just doesn't happen? Maybe 10 years from now, you'll probably be talking to a couple of your people like, "Damn, it's fucked up. We never got that fight, man."
No, I think the fight doesn't happen after this fight. It just doesn't happen at 147. It may still happen at 154. I'm pretty sure that Bud's also looking forward to moving up. Remember, he used to say he's willing to fight Jamel Charlo. So I think if it doesn't happen at 47, there's still maybe a chance it can happen at 54.
And what do you think about Boots' rise at 147? Like he's steamrolling right now. People didn't really like his performance.
I don't really get into that. Like Styles make fights at the end of the day. Just because you may have a slight off day doesn't mean that you're not what people thought you was to be or not a good fighter. Like I just think that just certain styles just don't cater to yours at times. There's a lot of times you've seen when. Even greats like Floyd, when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he had some ugly fights, but that didn't diminish that he wasn't great in his own way. Just the style that he was fighting that night, didn't cater to him. Like for instance, when he fought Emmanuel Augustus, we all know he didn't make fight easy for anybody. So you can't really go off of that. I think you have to really go off on more of a body of work and a pattern, not just off of one fight. And just be like, yo, let's fight them on.
What is your eye test of a fighter? Like, when do you look at a fighter and be like, yeah, he's got it or he's gonna be it? Like, what are the things that you look for as a fighter?
When they start stepping in the competition and actually going through some phase of adversity, in their path, they're calm and cool under pressure and they handle it and they get the job done. You know what I mean? When you start seeing fighters start struggling, they start climbing and they start struggling, whatever. But it's normal. Sometimes you will struggle here and there, but when they start struggling, they're making excuses on why the fight played out the way it did instead of just taking it head on and willing to go back to the drawing board and learn. Because sometimes when the fighter is arrogant like that, they're just stuck in their ways, and you can't teach them much after that. They just think they know everything, and they're gonna stick to doing that same thing until they get knocked off.
So obviously, you were in the ring with Shakur Stevenson. And obviously, they label him into the almost, and they put him on the Hall of Fame pedestal almost already. Are you buying the hype? Obviously, you've been in the ring with him. What is something that he does so well that you were like, whoa, he's
his ring IQ. His ring IQ is his best weapon, his best tool. I mean, like I said, like I had a longer reach, height, and everything, and I'll be standing right in front of him, but I just couldn't get to him. Because his eyes are sharp. He's always pinpoint, lasered in on everything that you're doing, from body language to everything. And like I said, he keeps a great poker face on. I remember in a meeting, for the Oscar Valdez fight when he fought Oscar Valdez next, and they asked him, who was at that point in time at least, who was the hardest person that hit him, and he said that I did, but I ain't believe him because it was like, if I did hit him with the force he said, he didn't show it. You know what I mean? Like I said, he kept it cool under pressure. So that's what I mean. But like, you may sting him with something, but he's not gonna let you show it, and it might throw you off at times.
Obviously, where people tend to question his power, is the power good enough, or
no, it's respectable. It's respectable power. Like I said, like he'll catch your attention. You know what I'm saying? He'll catch your attention. But I get what people may say, but like he'll get your attention. And I mean, he at least got mine to where like he cut my face open. You know what I mean? That night to where the referee stopped it off the cuts, whatever. But like I said, like at the end of the day, TKO KO is still a KO. So like I said, if he can cut you up or whatever, or you know what I mean, whatever, he'll do it. I think for the most part, it just people probably get upset with that activity because, like I said, he can get on the roll and he can be very accurate. I think people just want him to just be a little bit more active at times. But like I said, the power is there. He got respectable power.
I feel like right now nobody wants to fight him right now. And I feel like every fighter goes through that phase whether when they're rolling hot or when they're rolling low. And fighters tend to, move out the way, not to fight you at the moment. You now being a free agent, when you retire, you become a free agent completely.
No. Sometimes,
sometimes still in top rank.
You can sit there and say, I'm not saying like with my situation, but like there's times when fighters try to do that route, but they still like their contract. They may have stipulations in it where it just when you stop, it just goes on. It just freezes. It don't. The clock don't start, it just stops right there until you decide if you want to come back. Because a lot of fighters are prone to, wanting to come back. But I'm just saying, like, you'll never, I mean, because that was the case, if that was the case, you see a lot of fighters retiring just to be a free agent and to go elsewhere.
So last time we spoke, you were at if I'm not mistaken, you said 60-70%. Your last fight was at 135. You've been at 130 for the majority of your career. You're going to jump into the 135 pool when you come back, or you're going to jump into the 130 pool?
No, and I said it respectfully. And there's nothing against like not wanting to. It's just that like one man has all the belts, and there's a line. You know what I mean? There's a line. Like you're not jumping ahead of line with especially with these names that's already in line. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get there. So it's like. I'd rather go where at least it's a little bit more open and more freedom at it, which is I can still like say at 130. Like you see me out. I don't get heavy. Like it's been a minute. So I don't put on a ton of weight where I can't get back in the ring. But like for me, 135 man, it's tight. It's tight unless you somebody get like in a tank sweepstakes. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get that major payday that you really want.
What's one of the hardest, or what was one of the things that you hated like during training camp to do? Like was it a certain workout, or just something like, I hate this shit?
No, it's
some people don't like certain things. What was one of your things like, I just do it if it's part of my job? But
you know what? There was a lot of workouts. My man Jimmy Belt, somebody strength coach, my old strength coach, he used to always have us do like this crazy workouts with Bud Crawford and them, but it was like a lot of workouts. I'm like, yo, why are we doing this, man? Like there's other substitutes for to work this joint, work this muscle. But it was like, man, he didn't care. Like everything for him had a method. But it got the job done. But like, man, there's a lot of. For me, it was a lot to deal with, cardio and plyometrics. But you know what I'm saying? In the end, it all pans out.
So do you got a tunnel vision plan? So if I'm not mistaken, you'll be 38 this year. Not to put you on blast.
On the end of the year.
End of the year. So what do you want to do? You want to rock out?
I just want to see, like I said, how my body's at. Like I said, a lot of things hit people differently. Like I'm seeing people coming back left and right. I'm like, damn, all right, let me see how this works out for everyone. But I just think it's one thing you just gotta know yourself. Like if it don't work out, it don't work out. It's no love lost. I did what I did. But if I can, I'm saying, then why not? That's just me.
How long do you think a fighter or how does a fighter should figure out his identity, or should it be something that should be represented to him?
Nah, I think for the most part you find yourself, you find within yourself, at least in the pros, within the after that first year, you start molding into what you wanna get it, how you wanna see yourself as and portray yourself as in the future, whether it's inside or outside the ring. But like I think it should click on like that after that first year, especially if you've been busy that year. You should really start finding yourself after that first year, because that's when you really start planning out, okay, the next steps to each and every part of your career.
I need your top 5 pound for pound. I know that's always in a thing for fighters, but I need your top 5 pound for pound right now.
Yeah. I gotta put NOA on. I'm put the guys like, that don't get the most respect at times. Like you gotta put the guys that's like NOA, who's undisputed, Jamel Charlo, Devin Haney. You gotta put them up there. Of course, Bud Crawford. I even throw a guy like Bevo up there, you know what I'm saying? But then you got like Errol Spence, and so I can go on, like I said, on and so on and so on. There's a lot of names I can pick, but like those just fight, not even in certain order, but like just certain fighters that have done spectacle things in terms of like, I don't care what you say, especially in this day of boxing, it's still hard to try to negotiate to get every belt out there and stay motivated on trying to do it and accomplishing it. So you gotta give those guys those credit, because at the end of the day, they're still stepping up to fight the better competition instead of the guys like you have who are belt holders, but they fighting guys that you don't really care to afford to see. But they may be popular and they may sell tickets, so it doesn't matter.
So if this was going to be for the youth. Obviously, you went pro, had a successful career. What's the message that you got to the youth trying to make it to boxing, be a world champion, maybe when they're second guessing their career? What's the message of motivation that you could give to the youth to uplift them? Maybe they don't got that guy in their corner. You being a professional, taking to big heights, so you actually have the qualifications to speak on those kind of things.
No, I was telling them, just stay grounded. You know what I'm saying? And form a circle, a team around it that you can trust to all the way to through thick and through all the bullshit and whatever, because as you're going along the way, sometimes you might start getting people that you're not familiar with that is tag-alongs, but you don't know it because you live it. Everything's going good, but like it's gonna be a point in time where you're gonna see who your real ones. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, even if it's a small circle, so you gotta keep good energy around you. And and more importantly, with those who are in the gym trying to take it to the next level in their careers, trust and believe in your team. If that chemistry isn't there anymore, sometimes you might have to look out for yourself and better you, but at least give your team a chance to help and build you and mold you into a champion.
Oh man, big bro, I appreciate your time. Always looking out, man of your word. I appreciate you 1,000%. Whenever you get back in the ring, let me know where you at. I'ma slide on you like a dancer. I gotta watch you in the ring again. So I appreciate you for giving me the time and opportunity once again, big bro. I appreciate it. I'm gonna send you the link when the full video's out, big bro. So
all right, bro. You take care out there, bro.
God bless. All well to the family. All right, we'll see each other soon.
For sure.
All right. All right. I'm like that, nigga. I'm like that.